Hello everyone, this is Neela speaking for the Girl with the Curly Hair project, and today I wanted to do a video about discrimination. This week I've heard an awful lot of stories from people, autistic people, facing an awful lot of discrimination, and discrimination in the sense that neurotypical people or people otherwise than autistic people do not understand that they are discriminating in fact. Autism is a real disability. There's a reason why autism is put in the DSM, the Diagnostic Manual for Psychiatrists. It is a very real disability. It's just as real as someone who's blind or deaf or who's lost an arm or isn't able to walk. It's not because it's not visible that it's not less real. And that's something that a lot of therapists and doctors seem to forget. One of the things that got to me most this week is hearing two stories of two different friends, both females with autism. One of them is studying to be a doctor. She's an incredibly bright, wonderful young woman with an intelligence that is vast, and she's just absolutely amazing. And if anything, I have no doubt that she makes an amazing doctor. However, hospital lights can be very bright, and hospital environment can be very challenging for someone with autism, so she struggled a bit in that area. She decided to be honest towards her tutor, senior tutor. I'm not sure I recall about this, and told her about the sensory challenges that she faces on a daily basis. The response was, maybe this isn't the right thing for you to study then with your autism. That's plain discrimination, people. No matter how you twist or turn those words, that's discrimination. First of all, there are plenty of people who suffer from plenty of things and are still able to function in a variety of professions. It's not because you have some sensory issues that you won't make a wonderful doctor. It's just a matter of finding what works for you in that environment, and that requires sometimes a bit of help from a senior person. However, claiming straight away that someone's not able for that job because of autism without even looking into possible methods of helping that person is not okay. That's discrimination. I had the same thing happen to me last year, where I was in a work environment in the social sector, mind you. And because I'm a bit of an out-of-the-box thinker, both in my therapeutic work as in my normal daily self, one of the senior staff there told me that she thought that being a special needs therapist would never work for me because of my autism. Again, this is plainly discrimination. At that point, I didn't realize it as such because so many people told me, but she means well. No, she doesn't mean well. What she meant is that I'm not capable due to my autism. It's not okay. You judge someone based on their disability without even looking in how we can make it work. And those are things that are plainly not okay. Sorry, switching my camera a bit. Those are things that are very much not okay in any kind of sense, in any kind of profession, in any kind of field, whenever, wherever. Another example is from a friend of mine who lives in Canada, and she's an artist and autistic as well, and she went to see her therapist or counselor, I don't know, and she was able to voice her needs and her wants and what she felt was important to her. And the therapist stated, I kid you not, that maybe when you're able to voice your needs and your wants, you're not that disabled. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but to me, that's not something you say to a client in therapy at all. It's not because someone can voice what they need or what they want that they're all of a sudden rid of their disability. It just means that that person has spent countless hours, days, months ruminating about it, thinking about it, going back and forth about it, stressing about it, being anxious about it. That's what happens. The same lady, who is an amazing artist, also heard, but you can draw and you can paint, so you can function normally. Yeah, it's not because I can talk that I'm any less autistic. It's not because someone can draw that they're any less autistic. We're still autistic. You don't say that. A lot of the time, the neurotypical people, what they do is base you on first impression, right? So they see you and they see the things that you do. For me, I'm quite verbal. It's one of my talents, and at the same time it's also a curse. So when they see me, they see someone who's verbal and they go like, okay, you know, she's got a hang of life. I'm still autistic, despite me being able to express myself verbally. Yesterday, I got a message from someone and they told me, well, you're able to cope well with your autism. And I was like, excuse me? What I do is camouflage my autism in such a fashion that society accepts me and not shuns me. It's not coping with autism, it's hiding it. And people don't realize how discriminating and insulting those things are when they say something like that to you. Even though they mean well, it doesn't make it right to say. Just because it sounds okay to you doesn't make it right to say. Just imagine that you're sitting across someone who's blind and they're explaining like how hard it can be to be blind sometimes, or having an eye impairment. And you're saying like, oh yeah, I understand that because I have spectacles. You don't do that, because it's considered discrimination and disrespectful. Yet people seem to think it's okay to do so with someone who's autistic or has another mental disability. When you have someone who can't walk due to various reasons and is in a wheelchair, you don't go up to them and say, oh, I understand perfectly how you feel. Sometimes I get cramps in my legs too, so I can understand that perfectly. You don't do that because it's considered incredibly rude and disrespectful. So my question is, why is it so okay to do that kind of behavior with people who have mental disabilities, autism, bipolar, borderline, anything? It's not because someone has a mental disability and they are excelling at some area in society that the mental disability ceases to exist. It just means they've worked very, very hard to be able to hide certain parts of themselves in order to fit your views better. So please remember that before you make certain remarks about how well someone's coping, or that they don't belong in certain work fields, or that they look so normal. Those are all discrimination in one way or another. And it might be good to think twice about what you're saying and look at what a person needs rather than looking at what you expect him to be. Okay, so this was my little rant for today. I hope you guys are doing well and I wish you a very well day. Bye.